Welcome to the April 16th, 2021 video version of the Wagner Daily. My name is Rick Petticelli, and once a week this video replaces the written commentary portion of our report. Hopefully it serves as a nice change of pace as well as offers some insight as to how we set up our charts, what time frames and indicators we use. On the left-hand side here we have a daily chart with a 5, 10, and 20 EMA, a 50 SMA, and a 200 MA. And a relative strength line. This relative strength line, not to be confused with RSI indicator, is simply the stock's price, whatever stock is on the chart here, versus the price of the S&P 500, and it's a ratio, so it's calculated daily. And the idea with the RS line is it should match price on the way up. And if it does, that means that the chart we're looking at is as strong or stronger than the S&P. On the right hand side we have the weekly chart with a 10, 30, and 40 week. Sometimes I have the 20 week EMA here too. Only the 10 week MA is something we use for trading for the most part. The 30 and 40 week MAs are mostly just for confirming a reversal of trend and confirming the strength of a trend. And then on the bottom of each chart we have volume. We have a 50-day moving average of volume on the left and a 10-week moving average of volume on the right. We're going to run through a few broad market averages, and then we'll cover open positions in the model portfolio. And finally, we'll take a look at a few potential setups for the next few days. First up is the Nasdaq Composite, which after putting in a follow-through day on 4/1, I believe, it's reclaimed the 50 MA and has been acting really well. Even on Thursday following Wednesday's sell-off, the price action bounced right back. So a pretty strong runaway type of uptrend that we've seen many times before over the past few years. And the S&P 500 also erased Wednesday's selling on the open with the gap, and it is also getting a bit extended from the 20-day EMA here. And if we look on the weekly chart, price recently punched through this top trend line, which can also be a sign that the chart is extended in the short term. And the last chart is of mid-cap growth, IWP. Many of the stocks that we like to trade are in this ETF. And like the Nasdaq Composite, it reclaimed the 50-day MA, this blue line here, and has been trending higher since. And it's obviously lagging the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq Composite by a bit, but it also had to recover from a much more volatile correction. The S&P was a 6% correction off the highs, IWP 16. As for open positions, we're long Roblox from an entry right around 73, so we're up about 10% or so. And we have a stop that's below the 10-day EMA and this big bar up on 413. Next up is Etsy, which we're long from 214, so just around this 50 MA here. Price cleared the downtrend line, failed to follow through though, but looking pretty good as long as it holds above this 215 area. PINS, we purchased half position over this inside day, and we added the other half over 86 on the breakout from this tight range here. As you see, it was a false breakout on Wednesday, and we stopped out of half the position. And if pins can hold Wednesday's low over the next day or two, then it could have a shot of re-breaking out above Wednesday's high. And the last chart is of Snap, which we purchased over the midpoint of this double bottom-like pattern. The price failed to follow through, stopped out of half a position, and we'll look to re-enter the half position we stopped out of if the price can get back above the midpoint of the pattern. As for potential setups, we have GBTC, which is looking pretty good. This is the ETF that tracks Bitcoin. A little bit of a false breakout and pull back into the rising 5 and 10-day moving averages. SE's forming a tight little handle here above the 50-day MA. Could be in play on a move back through 253 and again on the breakout above 259. SQ we're monitoring for a pullback entry. We have UPST, which is a pretty big mover. Just monster volume, gap up to new highs. Failed the 10-day MA. Has this downtrend line here. If it can break through Thursday's high, price will be back above the 5, 10, and 20-day moving averages. Volatile stock though, so make sure you size accordingly. HubSpot, if it get punched through the base high, could be in play. And last up is 4, which is just a swing trade above the 414 high. As for official buy setups in the newsletter for Friday, please see today's watch list at the top of the report. All right, that's a wrap for this video. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again next week.